Good morning, everyone. This is Becky here at Aunt Beck's Creations, and I thought I would come back and we would put these cards together. I've got I called this my little moments in art book, and I was going to do a quick flip of that before we construct these into cards. So I'm going to set these aside, and then we'll talk about what I did to the bulbs that before I came on. But back in 2020, I started this I called it Little Moments in Art. And let's see. What this is created on is those little study books. Good morning. I'm trying to do something here, but my brain is working in segments. There we go. That's a little better. But what this is those little study guides that you can get them at Walmart. It's just paper that comes on a book ring like this. So, hello, Eternity and Pam. Good morning. It is about 6:20 here. And each one has a little quote. This one says, always be your own kind of beautiful. And of course, it's not going to come into focus. And it's hard sometimes to tell where I've added the colored paper. And then there's this one. Man, that's just not focusing at all. Might have to turn the autofocus back on just so that I don't know. My computer is having issues. Scott has ordered new somethings to stick in open slots in the back in the hopes to expand the lifetime of this computer. Let's see if that's any better. Probably not. Come on. It's just not wanting to work. It's a little better. Not great, but anyway, I'm going to just flip through. And I did one a day. And I grabbed painty papers and then whatever I had nearby and added a quote. So some are better than others. But I just wanted to show this because if you're not feeling well, pull out just a tiny little bit of something and slap some painty paper on it and add a quote, and it'll make you feel better all around. Or just put your painty paper on some pieces of paper that you could come back to and add your quote and designs later. Because doing a little bit of art helps every day. What does that one say? If you seek peace, be still. If you seek wisdom, be silent. If you seek love, be yourself. There can only be one you. There's no reason to act, or try to be like anybody else. I like that one, finding joy in the little things, especially since it's on a little card. We repeat what we don't repair. Inner peace comes from within. So I'm doing a flip through Monday. This says, flow with your creative spirit. And I have this little mermaid die. Radiate joy from the inside out. Ooh, that one's blingity bling. So let's see. Hi, Heather. Good morning. Good morning, Ann. I loved your tree. I got to see parts of it. I had to go out in the garage and outside. I was trying to help Scott before the storm really came on and hit us. We were sawing lumber in the sprinkling rain, which kind of unnerved me, but whatever. He's got his bookshelf done, and you guys it's really cool. He is really, because I do art and stuff, it's rubbing off on him, and his bookcase looks so flippin' cool. He even did some collage on the side of it with some old He's got an old Covair car advertisement out of a magazine that he's collaged onto the side. I'll show you when he gets it done and he's ready to load it with books. We'll show you. That one says, life is too short to choose anything that doesn't light a fire inside of you. That one's cool. It's got the dimensional things on it, and it says, if you can dream it, you can do it. All right, this one's just flat out silly. I don't know what I was doing. It said, authenticity, the courage to be yourself. And I drew that pretty sister. And she's in beautiful color, and the girl in the background hasn't figured out how to be authentic, so she's not colored yet. She doesn't have her colors. Create the thing you wish existed. Oh, I like that one. I just wish the camera would focus, you freak. There we go. But I did quite a few of these, and because they are out of just paper, they do stick together some. And I think I took one of Mary's envelopes apart to do that. That kind of looks like one of her carvings. A sweet friendship refreshes the soul. Hi, Dar. If not now, when? Do the things you want to do now. When you get older, you can't move as well. Like Scott and I used to dream of hiking the Appalachian Trail, but his legs are so bad now he can barely walk out the door to go to work. So that's not going to happen. Let your dreams be your wings. That little flower got bent, but that's okay. I'm sorry. Did I roll my eyes out loud? I put googly eyes on it. These were fun to do. I might start a new book next year of little moments in art. Okay, let's do this. And that's just punched out hearts and hand-cut stems and leaves. This one is, don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart. And this is just off-cut little strips from something. And I just lined them up in a row on a piece of painty paper, slapped another piece of painty paper on there, and added the quote. And I think it looks pretty cool. And it was very little work. It looks like I inked with the Sharpie marker on the edge of the paper so that you didn't see the white core. But that looks pretty cool. It's fun to look back through these. I'm almost back to the beginning. I'm not going to read them. Let your dreams blossom. It's tea time with the teacups. And we're back at the beginning. That one says, always be your own kind of beautiful. All right, so there's that. That was my share. And now we'll get back to the cards. We're going to put these together real quick. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath though. I'm going to have my left knee fixed myself. I've got to get that torn meniscus fixed because when that little piece that's broken loose flips up and gets caught in my kneecap, it's a special feeling. The cortisone shot I got 6 years ago lasted for a long time, but I think it's starting to get swollen again. All right, so the bulb pictures I cut down to 3 3/4 by 5. And then I cut a mat that's 4 by 5 1/4 so that I could mat it. And then the cards are a half a sheet at 8.5 by 11. So it's 4 1/4 by 5.5. And you can mat that on like this, and voila, you have a card. Pam says her left knee is on her list next. I think for this watercolor paper, I want my thicker double-sided tape because it's pretty chunky. I'm going to have to stand up. Yeah, I tried to run with Bernadette one time and I could tell when I hit the pavement, I felt something tear and I could barely get back to the house. And then it just wouldn't let up. So we had a doctor that got me an MRI ordered, and I had an MRI on it. It's a pretty significant tear. It's shaped like a wedge, like a pie slice. And then there's a little bit on one corner that's loose from that. And I just need them to go in and clear that all out. I'm going to use my fat tape on the watercolor paper. And this one I added some kind of coppery dots. The camera doesn't like it. And I'd like to add that to the others, but I figure I'll go ahead and make the cards and then add the coppery goldy color to it. I did add some gold gel pen on the strings and the toppers. Oh, pull that one a little long. So what's everybody's week looking like? I am not going anywhere or doing anything because Scott is using the truck, and that's usually what I drive is the Dodge Ram, because the car is leaking transmission fluid. And a lot of it has to do with where we recently had work done on it. And they've left connections looser. They haven't tightened connections down. And that really steams me that somebody's not doing. That's why Scott doesn't hire anything out. He just tries to do it all himself. But anyway, we're taking it back to the same garage and hoping they'll fix it correctly. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put these on here. Anne's got to take Lily to the vet. Christmas cards. I must have missed something. Is Lily sick? Or is she just going for her checkup? When on the weekends, I have to be in and out of live, so I miss a bunch of stuff because, Scott needs help moving things. And yeah. And getting into specialist is getting harder and harder. Like I have an ingrown toenail that I'm just managing on my own because I can't get into a podiatrist until February. So, a couple mixed drinks. Becky takes care of her toe herself. I know that sounds brutal, but it gives me some relief to get the pressure off. Even if my toe looks like the doctor, when I finally get in to see her, she's going to say, "What have you been doing to your toe?" Giving myself some relief because I couldn't get in to see you for 2 months. And I know Safia said it took her daughter a full year to get into a specialist over in UK. I'm probably using way too much tape, but that's okay. I'd rather use too much than have my card fall apart. Yep, Dr. Google. I'm afraid we're relying on that a lot more than we, and it's good that we have the internet and Google, I guess, since our care is getting more and more up to us. I'm doing what I say I never like doing, is taking the tape all the way off. I usually like to leave some covered up. But I'm going to go for it this morning. Let's see. I want this to open that way. No Howard hair. Howard's done with his zoomies. I think he's quit coming through here at about, like he's being chased. Here we go. So there's the green card. And I've put my rubber stamp I was using for sentiments. I've put it in a safe place. Let's see. Oh, she's not acting right. Poor baby. She's an old baby, isn't she? But she's still a baby. We didn't have to scoop any of the neighbors' kittens out of the truck engine this morning. I fed them some food up by the front of the garage just to make sure they're from in the engine, and it seemed to work. So I didn't have to climb up on that great big old truck again. That hurt my back. Over the weekend, we opened the truck to check it, and the mother cat and all 3 kittens were up in there. We were like, oh, you guys, you're killing us. And yes, we feed the cats. I know we shouldn't, but they're starving to death because those people next door are hideous. And what's bad is you can see they've got more cats inside, like a lot more cats inside. I was going to see if I could get the rescue to come get the mother cat and the kittens. But they're full. It's kitten season, and now it's almost wrapping up kitten season, and the kittens are getting big, but the females are going in heat again. So everybody talks about breeds like rabbits. Breeds like cats is another thing. I told Scott if we have to, we might have to just get that little female cat fixed ourselves and just let her be our outdoor cat. We call her Juanita. Don't ask me why. But I'd rather have her spayed than have her keep having kittens. My dilemma is this. I cannot bring her in the house. So where am I going to have her that she could recover from the surgery? She's a sweet little cat. But we don't need it. Yeah, I can take her out to the SPCA to get her spayed. It's just the recovery issues where she really needs to be, in for about a week to heal before she's out loose. I let Callie go out loose up at the other house the day after her surgery because up there they were really outdoor cats, and she got an infection. So I don't want that to happen again. And our vet said the real solution to it all is, yes, get the females spayed, but instead of neutering the males, just give them a vasectomy, because then they still have the sexual appetite and they take care of the urge that the female cats that might come through have, but no kittens are produced. And he said that would be a real much costly effective thing. It would cost more, but it would do more to reduce the population of cats. Which made sense to me. I really hadn't planned to do any more caps until these start dying off. And then I think, as we lose these 3 are going to be the hardest cats we've ever had to lose, because we adopted all of them from the same litter up at the cottage from our special time of when it was just Scott and I again. And, it was all real special. We look at that time we had up in Greenville as like almost a second honeymoon. It was really nice just being the two of us again. We weren't just the two of us very long before we had Greg, so it was interesting. All right. These are all side open cards except one. And I'm just rambling. Sorry. So after we got all the equipment put away out there, that storm, Dee Dee had said there was a storm heading this way in Ann's from Atlanta, and it hit, and the cats got totally freaked out. It was on the windows. We haven't replaced all of the windows in the house. I have a bunch of windows to replace the ones along the front, and that would really help. But Scott just hasn't gotten around to putting those in. Those have been out there about 10 years waiting to be put in. Anyway, that is my life. And that would really help because we got single pane glass in that front. There's no storm windows on the front. And that front room where my craft room used to be stays pretty chilly. So that's a bonus of getting moved back here in the den. I'm in the warmest room of the house now because this room, when we pulled all that paneling down and redid this space, Scott put insulation in that wall. This house was built in 1960 and it doesn't have any insulation in the walls. None. It has the exterior, that black kind of smushy insulated board. That's on the outside between the studs and the brick. But insulation in the wall, no. All right. And I got some gold and coppery colored pens. I thought we'd add a little bit more to some of these. Like this one's got that on there. And so these will go to people that I haven't already mailed to. So I'll have a couple more handmade cards to give. You had a Lily, now a Tilly. Yeah, we have a shed, and she could stay in the garage with a litter box. We have 2 sheds, but they're full of stuff. I'll have to think on it. Yeah, the wind was pretty bad last night. I had some windows, our bedroom windows were just cracked because it was in the 70s here yesterday. And with the cats freaking out, I just went around and closed I only had them open just a little bit. We can't open our windows really fully wide because Howard is a screen shredder. So I just open them a crack and that's it. All right, so let's add a little bit of extra gold dots here and there, and then I'll call it quits. I've got the Zig Painty pen, and I think that's what I used to just add a few more dots here and there. That one's not quite the same. I'll just I'll put some of these and then I'll get some of that copper. The gal up the street, she just as bad as me about cats, and she has, I think she has 5 right now, and she's the one I was doing the special picture for. I need to finish that too. And you guys, remember what I was saying about I'm going to finish a bunch of projects before I start any new? Oh, forget that. Anyway, I have started the Cardi shawl that Vintage Crochet put up a tutorial for. I'll show you my progress so far. I've got almost one of my squares is done, and you have to make it's like 3 24-inch granny squares, and then you turn them into what she called a Cardi shawl. It's part cardigan, part shawl. It looks really cool. It's got a bunch of fringe. It's a late 60s pattern she came across. It looks flipping cool. Now, I used different colors. Words is hard in the morning. All right, so that one I'm going to call done. Now, these others, I want to add some of this and PBO Deco marker. This is the one that made those coppery dots. I just want to add a little bit more bling to them. But it comes out really fast if you push too hard. And I pulled out my Christmas dress that I made a couple years ago and stuck it on Gretchen. That's my dress form's name. And she's looking all festive over by the fireplace now. Oh, I like that. Janet Nash will be on after a while. Of course, Dee Dee comes on before that. I got to come over here and see if I can't. Oh, see, if you push too hard, then it puts out too much. Maybe go over some of these. Just to add a little extra blingity bling to the thing. Let's see. This one needs it too, doesn't it? Yeah, she was walking through a parking lot wearing her bling thing, and I did put some on here. That's okay. We'll put a couple more here and there. And it just looks so cool. And I said, I have to make one of those. I have to. I can't wait. I have to do it now. So that's what I'm going to work on while I watch everybody today, is my Cardi shawl. And I've decided what I'm making for my Christmas with my sisters. We're doing a finger foods gathering here, and everybody's bringing 2 or 3, hors d'oeuvre type things. So we can just nibble and munch and chat and catch up and all that kind of stuff. So there you go. You could come back through and do like a little stringy border around it if you wanted to, but I like these the way they are with the black on here. Yes, Gretchen is over there. I'll show you Gretchen. I'm going to bring you up. Ta-da! I guess I should make Christmas dresses for the Barbies back there. So let me pan you around here slowly. There's Gretchen. And the tall case over there's got all my like brads and lace and stuff. I had not brought that in from the other room the other day. So my room is finally settled. That's why I told Scott, I said, I'm ready to help you with your space if you're ready to do it. So yeah, this is my space now, and everything in here is mine except for the dog's crate, which is on the other side. That's where she sleeps at night. She's an old dog. If we leave her loose at night, she just paces all night long. It drives me absolutely nuts. So she sleeps in a crate. She likes it. She's got her blankie in there. The paper piece cats, that's one of my very favorite projects that I've done. And I loved it that I found that frame at the Goodwill clearance bin. And it's like it was meant to be. I had 3 canvases. It puts the 3 pictures. The only thing is the picture of Tippy is not the picture I used for his paper pieced bit. I'm going to take something back. That bookcase right there is Greg's cookbooks. That's Scott's weather station. And the books in that case are Scott's. And when we redo his room, I might move that out of there. And then I could move my tall case into that corner. We'll see how Scott's progress goes. And I think you guys have seen the mandala I did on the big canvas. All right, I'm just going to show you the Cardi shawl so far. And I think now I've got you too high. Now you're looking over my head. I'm finally getting used to these glasses, which is a miracle in itself. So when I put this away last night, of course, the hook went to the very bottom of the bag. But this is my Cardi shawl so far. And this goes like this on the back. And then the other 2 go on your shoulder like this. And I'm not sure how it all goes. I still have several rounds to go. But it looked so cool on her. And she did hers in kind of a muted pink brown and muted browns. And her yarn was something I've not seen. It was Red Heart. Now I can't remember the name of it. But it had a halo on the yarn. It was like fuzzy. And I looked in my stash. All of my yarn is stuff I picked up at Goodwill for $1.99 a skein. But I think I did pretty good picking my own colors. And they go with my skin tone. So it'll be very me. And this is coral. And then I have royal blue, blue, baby blue, and the white. Is that right? There should be more colors than that. No, I think that's it. Thanks, Heather. I got to dig for my hook before I can get started on that. But that's all I had to show you guys today as we finished up the cards. And you can see how the watercolor, when you go back and you drop a little bit of color back in, it adds little dark spots. I'm okay with that. I did have some issues with this one in that I hit something black with my paint pen and I tried to clean it off, but it kind of put a dark spot on this ornament instead of a little highlight. It is what it is, I reckon. I love this one. I might go get my sequins out and maybe add a little bit of sequins to it. I've got some real tiny sequins. I might glue them on there and give it some bling. And again, if you guys are, you're not feeling well, try to do small art like these. These are easy to do. It's the little study guides that you get on a ring at Walmart. You'll get way more than you can do on a ring because you can see how fat they get. But it's fun. I think I did this for a month. I had some of them were numbered 1, 2, 3, and then I just gave up and just did them when I felt like it. But I was, I think, attempting to do them in the month of June 2020. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Except I've done like several in one day. You know, whatever I was up to that day. That was kind of a stressful year. So, anyway, that's all I have to share. And I will see you guys in the next one. Yeah, I'm going to add some bling bling. Yeah, you could do your addresses on that as well. Do YouTube people and put, this is what I found about address books. And a girl told me this one time. It's better to not do it by their last name. Do it by the name you call them, because you'll find them faster. Because I don't know about you, it's so much easier to remember the first name, but you don't go around saying, Becky McCauley. You just don't. You say Becky, right? So when you set up your address book, just do it by their first name. All right. Bye, guys.